So back in roughly 2015 to 2020, I tried to become a YouTuber, and safe to say I failed miserably. But in the midst of my Call of Duty Zombies career, I also wanted to start making wrestling content, and of course that failed too. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look back at my top 10 wrestlers from roughly 2018 and versus my current top 10 ever since I became a pro wrestler. I'm no big name in the wrestling scene, but I do work for Over the Top Wrestling, so I've had some good reps and plenty of matches that I can confidently say I know a little bit more about wrestling. So welcome to the channel. If you're new here, which most of you probably are, my name is Nathan Murphy. Forever. I'm a pro wrestler based out of Kildare, Ireland. Let's rekindle my love for making YouTube videos, and let's start where better than to rip my old content apart and cringe and cringe some more. So like I said, when you are a wrestling fan, you obviously have your top 10 wrestlers, and that doesn't change when you become a wrestler, you start training. But what does change is your taste, and you kind of get a rude awakening, kind of get a taste of what it's like to become a pro wrestler. And then you look at some guys and you go, holy hell, I used to hate you and now you're in my top 10 and I think you're the best wrestler in the world. And that is going to happen in this list. There are some omissions and there are a lot of changes. So to preface as well, my list from 2026 is going to be a lot different than my list from 2018. We're mostly sticking to WWE wrestlers, so I think it'll be fun to jump back and forth, see what my number 10 was nearly a decade ago versus what my number 10 is now. And again, just to reiterate that my top 10 in 2018 is just strictly based when I was a fan, what I really liked, who the guys I liked were. The 2026 list is more so who's influenced me and influenced my wrestling and who I enjoy watching because I think I learn a lot from them. So it's not necessarily just I like this wrestler, that's why he's there. It's I take something from that wrestler that's in the 2026 list. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Coming in at number 10, we have John Cena. Yes.
So I forgot to put John Cena in my list from now. I need to take somebody out. It's been amended. So in 2018, I listed John Cena as my number 10 pick. You will see him on my modern list, but he's not at my 10th spot in 2026. Yeah, I grew up with John Cena. John Cena was the guy when I first started getting into pro wrestling. I started watching the end of 2004, and so I was right there for the culmination at WrestleMania 21 in 2005 to witness his inauguration as the top guy of WWE. Yeah, I really enjoy his work. When it comes to him, I'll talk more in depth about John Cena on my modern list. But at number 10 of the modern list is the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Again, I'm not going to claim to say that I've seen every single Ric Flair match, but anytime I do watch one of his matches, I do take something away from it.
Murphy takes too long. And down.
Obviously, you can be entertained by all of these people. Like, they're really good wrestlers because they're really good at entertaining the audience. So it doesn't necessarily, you're just strictly, you like these guys because you're a wrestler, and you know the fans, they're underrated by the fans. Like, most of these guys are going to be like the most popular wrestlers ever, Ric Flair included. There's not much more you can say about Ric Flair and his influence on not only wrestling but specifically rich heel assholes. anybody that is anybody will emulate Ric Flair to some degree when they are trying to be a specific type of asshole heel villain. His match structures, now obviously he's wrestled a fucking million times, so it's not going to be every single match, but a lot of his matches will follow the formula of allowing the good guy to be on top for most of the match and really letting the babyface become the center of the attention and kind of chip them away until typically takes out their leg and, you know, starts trying to get that figure four. Just the reaction he gets off of, oh, do you know what I mean? Like, it's nobody had that hair, nobody had that look to them, and then as soon as he started backing off, the audiences would go mental, especially with guys like Dusty Rhodes or Ricky Steamboat. These guys will go out there and Ric Flair will make them look like a million bucks, which as a wrestler is something that I try to do as a doesn't matter what role you're in, you try to make your opponent look as good, and I think nobody really did it as well as Ric Flair did at this time and during his prime. So yeah, number 10, Ric Flair.
Coming in at number 9, we have Mick Foley.
Number 9 on my 2018 list is Mick Foley, or Cactus Jack. Dude, love Mankind. Yeah, I love watching Mick Foley. I think he's such an innovative wrestler that has existed, and that Hell in a Cell where he gets tossed off the cage is burned into my memory, burned into my psyche. I love that match. And beyond his hardcore stuff, he is just a very solid wrestler. My love for him, like in my personal like nostalgia top 10, he's still up there in my top 10. But I don't take as much influence from him anymore. I'd say at one point I have been like, oh, well, I don't know if I can take that powerbomb off the apron. And I go, oh, you know what? What would Mick Foley, what would Cactus Jack do? He would take that fucking bump and get back up and continue the match. So maybe he's influenced me in that aspect. I can't fully say it for sure, but yeah, I loved him back then. But, and this is a big change, my number 9 on my 2026 list is the Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. All of my top 10 here are top guys. They're just the top guys. It's a position that I want to be in my career. I want to be a top guy. That's my dream, buddy. That's just my dream, buddy. So you have to look at a lot of these guys that made it, and nobody made it further and bigger than Stone Cold Steve Austin. But beyond just his influence as like the top guy of the industry for 4 or 5 years, his influence on in-ring style as well is crazy. He's somebody that mastered the walk and brawl style of match and makes it interesting. I think his punches are fantastic. He genuinely feels like he's getting into a bar fight anytime he steps into the ring, which is, you know, a lot of people can't convince you that they're really angry or they're really pissed. There's always like an element of this is wrestling. It's utter intensity. Probably the biggest influence from Stone Cold that I have blind fade. But the biggest influence would be his intensity, and to just go out and believe that you are going to kill your opponent. Just believe it.
Coming in at number 8 is the Shovel Master himself, Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Number 8 on my list from 2018 is the cerebral assassin, Triple H. Now, back in 2018, Triple H was kind of liked and wasn't blamed for every wrongdoing WWE has ever done ever. you know, NXT was hugely popular, and just from my own nostalgia, Triple H was very influential on me. But controversially, for some people, he will appear again on my new list. So we'll move on to that list, the number 8 spot on the 2026 list, and that is Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret the Hitman Hart. Why did I say it like that? I don't know. For me, in my early days of wrestling training, I found Bret Hart allowed me to understand wrestling from what I was learning already in training. So that's where his influence on me comes from. So a lot of what you learn when you first start wrestling is the basics, and it'd be lock up, headlocks, shoulder tackles, punches, posting, body slams, giving body slams, all this stuff. Like it's very the basics of all basics. And when you start learning, your main goal is to just learn. And so you won't really express these moves in the best way that you possibly can, and you'll start learning, and your trainers will be, hey, you know, sell the story of the body slam, sell the story of the headlock. It won't make sense until you watch Bret Hart. Bret Hart does the basics of pro wrestling better than 9 out of 10 wrestlers. I absolutely adore watching him put on a headlock, throw a punch, feed, sell a submission. Genuinely one of the greatest technicians ever. And a wrestling technician is not somebody who does a bunch of fancy submission holds, which is really cool, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to actual proper in-ring technique, Bret Hart, Hitman, is the perfect nickname for Bret Hart, because he walks around with absolute precision, walks around like deadliest technician in the ring. I would watch his matches and I would look, and this will happen with anybody that, if you start wrestling training, this will happen with you as well. You kind of realize, like, I'm learning all this basic stuff, but in every match it's being used. And so you will kind of start looking at wrestling a lot differently. And when it comes to watching Bret Hart, you look at it and you go, okay, that's a headlock takeover, a shoulder block, anything like that. That's how you're supposed to do it. And it looks believable. It looks gnarly. It looks like perfectly executed. And he is the excellence of execution, I believe. Don't quote me on that. If you want to brush up on your wrestling skills and really take away what it means to really work a hold or put on a snug headlock or something like that, watch Bret Hart. For my fellow wrestlers, watch Bret Hart.
Coming in at number 7, we have
the showstopper. We have Mr. WrestleMania. We have Mr.
Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. Shawn Michaels. Oh my god, what?
Number 7 on my 2018 list is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, who does not. Okay, I'm just realizing that Shawn Michaels doesn't show up on my list. Shawn Michaels being number 11 on my today list. But Shawn Michaels, just like Bret Hart, excellent at all things wrestling, perfect at selling. If you want to, Jesus, I fucked up. Shawn Michaels is very influential on me as well. I'm influential on a lot of wrestlers. I probably take the least amount of influence from him than a lot of other people do, but his selling is second to none. So he'd be number 11 on my list. Probably number 10 over Ric Flair, maybe. I don't know. But number 7 on my actual list, which will upset a lot of people, is the immortal, who's dead, Hulk Hogan. Sans racism. I'm a bad guy. I'm a heel, but I'm not racist, I think. Anyways, Hulk Hogan is an incredible professional wrestler. What Hulk Hogan could do in that ring, not many people could do. And it's a lot harder to control an audience the way he controls an audience, with just his eyes, with his mannerisms, with his just aura, have 80,000 people lose their fucking minds just because he went and then pointed at you. Like that is hard. Trust me, I've been out in front of audiences who do not like me. And I'm talking when I was a good guy. They do not like you. And you go out and the audience looks at you like you just don't exist, or like you didn't hold the door open for them. They just look like I'm bothering you, that I'm out here in my underwear in front of you. Sorry, I'm just here. I will leave soon. So I know what it's like to not have the crowd, but I also know what it's like to have the crowd as well, and it's the best feeling in the world. It's like you are on cloud 9. But I don't think anybody on this planet, maybe bar Stone Cold Steve Austin, has ever had the crowd like Hulk Hogan. It is incredible to watch his matches, especially in the mid 80s to the early 90s, where people are losing their mind off of him punching and doing a body slam and a big boot. That's it. That is it. For me, it is a lot more impressive and a lot harder to convince you to like me with very little to offer, but you still like me. Do you know what I mean? It's all well and cool to go out and do 50 million moves and then somebody likes you. It's another skill on another planet, distant from here, only heard through ancient scrolls, to have the ability to go out, be balding, wear red and yellow, and do a big boot and a leg drop and have everybody cream their pants for you. It is very, and I mean very, difficult to convince a room of 200 people to like you, let alone 20,000, let alone 50,000. It is incredibly hard, and Hulk Hogan mastered the art of crowd control. And anytime I watch one of his matches, I'm like, there's something that I can take that will allow me to connect with the audience a lot more. And he's racist. I'm sorry about it. I can't. At least Chris Benoit is not on this list.
And coming in at number 6, we have Mr. Adam Edgeworth, the rated R Edge.
Number 6 is something I don't agree with anymore, and not because he's bad. I've lost my love for this wrestler, but number 6 on my 2018 list is Edge. Adam Cope, or just Cope. There's nothing wrong with Edge, and I think he is fantastic and a fantastic wrestler. I just don't gravitate towards him anymore. But number 6 is the number 10 on my 2018 list. From here on out, it's like it's a toss up. Really, it's just purely a toss up. From 6 to 1, every day they would change. They would just change every day. It's very hard. Because all of these guys will have massive influence on me. Sorry about it. But number 6 is the never seen 17, Mr. John Cena. So he's everything that he has done in his career has influenced me more so than I can ever express. And as a wrestler, he's another guy that has a connection with the audience that is second to very few. Yeah, I love John Cena. I love watching his matches. Another guy, 5 Moves of Doom. When I was making this list in 2018, I was probably just he only does 5 moves. But versus now, where I'm like, holy shit, I can start crying at your retirement match and all you've hit is 5 moves. That's so cool. Honestly, this is going to be the cringiest thing I say in this whole entire video. I really wish I could have wrestled him. I would have loved to have been in the ring with him and just experience what that is like to be in there with John Cena. But that never happened.
Coming in at number 5, we have a pretty new wrestler. He is the demon himself, Finn Balor. I said that really American.
Tanahashi, Taguchi, Nakanishi, Captain fucking New Japan. Get the fuck out of here.
Number 5 on the 2018 list is Finn Balor. He will be returning soon. But number 5 on my list is somebody I actually met. Yeah, I met him. I met Gunther when he was Walter. Yeah, woo. It is a rule not to copy anybody that is currently popular, really. But again, this is influencing on my wrestling, not necessarily my character, I guess. Like, it's not, I won't claim myself like to be copying Gunther in any way. When it comes to match structure and putting heat on people, this would be probably the guy that influences me the most at the moment. Whenever I would get critique on my wrestling, I found that Gunther would be doing what I was getting critiqued for, or like critiqued for not doing. And so I would look to Gunther and I'd go, oh, okay, makes sense. Okay, it's making sense more now. Gunther's doing it. He's just a classic case of big guy just beating you down and you being built back up, all of that structure over and over again. And he's such a captivating character that you don't care. You just don't care. Some of his matches have been some of my favorites ever since I got back into wrestling. Namely his match at Scrappermania 5 with Jordan Devlin, aka JD McDonough. It was a surreal experience being in the crowd for that match. I absolutely love that match. I'll throw up some clips.
Coming in on number 4, do you hear that glass breaking? It's probably a rattlesnake. It is the badass himself, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
So back in 2018, my number 4 would have been a man we already talked about, which is Stone Cold Steve Austin. But today, my number 4 is my number 8 from 2018, and that is the Hunter Hearst Helmsley's. But yeah, Triple H would be my number 8 in today's climate. Again, very controversial at the moment, being blamed for all horribleness about WWE. I'm saying that as somebody that enjoys WWE right now. I actually low-key, high-key, kind of enjoy it. Sorry, bud. Triple H, very similar. Obviously, he's one of the guys that's super influenced by Ric Flair, but more so his selling. I absolutely adore Triple H's selling as a wrestler. The hair flip that he does when he takes a punch is super influential to me. I absolutely adore it and love it. This isn't very, very deep. I think it is literally just that, and maybe his match structures as well. I absolutely adore his how he makes wrestlers look good, and especially Shawn Michaels. I think he's one of I think he had made Shawn Michaels look the best in any of their matches that they had post 2002. I always loved them when I was younger, and then growing up, very influential on guys who want to go to the gym. I didn't want to go to the gym for a long time, but one of the best bodies in wrestling ever. And some of the best iconic moves in wrestling as well. He's the reason why I started doing the spine buster. But I have surpassed his spine buster. I've surpassed everybody's spine buster because I have the best spine buster in all of professional wrestling. And if you don't agree, I have 2 words for you. If you don't agree, the second is off and the first is fuck. Yeah, I think as a bad guy as well, really made his opponents look good. Not all the time. He did get away with not doing his job, But yeah, I really I've not much more to say. It's selling and him as just I'm sorry.
Coming in at number 3, we have Mr. Latino Heat. We have Eddie Guerrero. Rest in peace.
Number 3 in my 2018 list is Eddie Guerrero, and unfortunately he does not show back up on my newer list. I love Eddie Guerrero. He'd be in my top 20. Number 3 is another controversial one probably, but again, this is influencing my wrestling currently as we speak right now. My 1 through 6 can change, like they can go but especially my 1 through 3. Holy hell. Tomorrow it will be different, and as soon as I upload this video, I will regret saying this. But my number 3 at the moment is Cody Rhodes. Again, I want to be at a certain level in the wrestling industry, and if you want to be at a certain level in the wrestling industry, you look at the people who are at that level in the industry, and who is at the top of the mountain right now, Cody Rhodes. I think any compliments that I can give any of the other guys that are on my current list, I can give to Cody Rhodes. He's a very complete character wrestler. I hated him at one point, but I've really grown to love Cody Rhodes. One of the best baby faces we've had in like the last 10 years. Genuinely, like, I know he gets booed, but he gets booed because the audience doesn't get what they want, not necessarily that he is bad. I genuinely feel like the last 3 WrestleManias have had a very compelling babyface in Cody Rhodes going into the main event. Saying the same stuff I'm saying for 4 through 10, they still apply to Cody Rhodes. I just find that he is in modern wrestling, so his style of wrestling is kind of what you have to look towards and want to emulate or want to be influenced by, so you can be seen as somebody who is of quality wrestling. Does that make sense? I don't know. He's at number 3, but I promise you I am influenced by him greatly.
Coming in at number 2, we have the lead singer of Fuzzy, Chris Jericho.
Number 2 is on the 2018 list. Number 2 is Chris Jericho. Love Chris Jericho. Not really influenced by him anymore. Fantastic wrestler, but he's already been mentioned just a second ago. Number 2 on my 2026 list, and this is for complete personal reasons and also because he's just fantastic and he's one of the best wrestlers in the world right now, is Finn Balor himself. To preface, I'm Irish. He basically started the modern Irish wrestling scene, or helped start the modern Irish wrestling scene. His influence as a fan, Finn Balor brought me back into wrestling. It wasn't just him, it was that era of What Culture Pro Wrestling, Wrestling with Regret. That era of YouTube brought me back. But in terms of real interest, it was when I first saw Finn Balor. And in my head, when I was growing up, the only Irish wrestlers there were Sheamus, and when Sheamus being number 12 on this list, Sheamus and Fit Finlay, and I would be like, why do they have to wear green and like talk like that? That's not like not every Irish person's like that. We're all different. And then here comes Finn Balor dressed as Jack the Ripper, and I was like, that's so cool. So I started looking at more wrestling, and then I got back into wrestling. His influence is filled to the brim in the school of Irish wrestling that I go to, and to Fight Factory Pro Wrestling in Dublin as well. It's felt all over. One of the best moments in my wrestling journey so far has been attending a Finn Balor seminar talk, I guess, but ahead of OTT's 10th anniversary. It was so amazing to have somebody that has been to where you want to be, who's from the country that you are from, talk. And he didn't say anything like mind-blowing that we don't already know, but he talked and just made it feel more real and more attainable. What he said to us when he came over, you can just see it in his wrestling style now, and the pure less is more mentality rings through. I absolutely adore watching any of his matches and just know that we're following in his footsteps. And for Sheamus as well, who also came to the school.
The Phenom, the Dead Man, the Undertaker. The Undertaker is my all-time favorite wrestler.
So 2018's number one is The Undertaker. The Undertaker. Yeah, so The Undertaker is my number one from 2018. That hasn't changed from my own personal list. I love The Undertaker. I love the streak. But one of the first wrestling DVDs I ever got was the 2004 Tombstone anthology of like The Undertaker's greatest matches. I watched that to death. I watched that constantly. So for me, The Undertaker is influential on me becoming a pro wrestler. But as a pro wrestler now, I'm not like he's fantastic, but I wouldn't say I was influenced by him a lot anymore. So to move on to my number one is a guy that I used to hate. 2018 me, you would be rolling in your non-existent grave right now, because my number one, gotta throw the ones up. The tribal chief, the chieftain, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. I hated Roman Reigns when I was younger because he was pushed too much. And to be fair to myself, in 2018 to 2020 or whatever, Roman Reigns did kind of suck as a character. But even back then, he's just a fantastic in-ring worker. If you want to get to a certain level in this industry, you gotta look and be influenced by the people that have made it. And there's nobody that has made it better in the modern age than Roman Reigns. I think his match structures are fantastic. I think he has brilliant selling. Some very, very good examples of realistic selling that isn't just like, oh, I'm going to take a punch and then go stiff and die. He actually will sell in a very cool, realistic way. He has a very strong promo, a fantastic look. He just got there a bit too early. For my number three and my number one, they both are kind of combined influences a little bit. Big fan. Fantastic. I love that main event. I've watched that like 15 times. That is one of the greatest wrestling matches in the modern age that I've ever seen. And Cody down from Roman Reigns and the slow realization that, oh, maybe all the tools and tricks that I'm throwing at Cody Rhodes will not keep him down. He has really influenced me on like putting together like personal stories that WWE have been doing. He's done some of the most personal stories that really feel like somebody is upset. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely adore any Roman Reigns match or promo, and is somebody that I try to emulate also. Fantastic at putting on heat, and he was still being an interesting character and keeping it interesting, going around punching somebody and jaw-jacking with the audience. So this is very convoluted, very long I've been recording for nearly an hour now. Hopefully this gets cut down to 10 minutes. If it doesn't, I'm going to be very angry. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw this together and be something kind of cool. I'll hopefully have more content. This is why I didn't succeed as a YouTuber. I would constantly be like, yep, I made a video, and then maybe I'll make another. Who knows? So hopefully I do make another video, and hopefully I keep up somewhat of a schedule. If you want to see any of my professional wrestling matches and see if I'm accurate to say that the wrestlers in these lists have influenced me, you can check out my match playlists right here. And if you want to check out any of my promos, you can also check them out here. With all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Boots? I don't know, what do I say?